and sharing your expertise, Terhi. Now is the time of open forum. So as usual, if you have any questions or views, please feel free to either post your thoughts in the chat box or raise your hand either here on site or virtual. Maybe I can stop sharing so that we can see. So any questions? We have one here in SeAMK.
Thank you, Mr. Hivo, for your wonderful presentation. I would like to know, how do you see the future of the student mobility in SeAMK or in elsewhere in the world?
Thank you for your good question, Marjut. I think that our students are more and more aware all the time about global matters. I think that our students are open-minded and brave, and I even feel that nowadays students are more like world citizens rather than the citizens of certain country. That's what I think, and maybe hope also. About mobilities, of course, also us as a teachers, we should spread the benefits of international mobilities and exchanges to our students, that they are also more aware about the benefits. And also, I believe and hope that the funding system in Erasmus Plus program, it's very well organized and it's been running for a long time already. So I believe that Erasmus is also one of the things which is kind of, how to say, grounded, and we can also lean on that.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Here on site or online? We have one question here on site.
Okay, thank you for the great presentation. How do you think how we can improve exchanges between countries who are taking part of this seminar?
Okay, thank you, Pasi, for the good question. I think that the improving leans on the good collaboration, which continues all the time. About the funding system, as I told, that we do need those agreements, and I'm not expertise in those. So there is our international office, and they take care of all those agreements. And if there is someone who would also collaborate with this level, so there is Mrs. Marjo Arola, who is our international manager, and she will take care of all our agreements. But it was a very good question. Thank you, Pasi.
Thank you. And any other questions? Maybe online? Yes, one. So, question from our audience from Bicol University. What international program is open for nursing students for the Philippines?
Thank you for the question. If I understood correctly, you mean the students in your institution coming or going somewhere else abroad, if I understood correctly. So I think that all the universities need to create own agreements and own also applications related to fundings. And again, I would like to ask you to contact our international office, and they are more aware about all the contracts and agreements.
Thank you. So, any other questions? We have a lot of time. If you have anything in your mind. So there are no. Oh, sorry. What do you think are the challenges or barriers to student mobility in a third world country like Philippines?
If I think our students going to or your students coming from to our countries, exchanges between our countries, I don't see any barriers. So of course funding systems talks a lot, but if we think about human beings, so I think that third world countries, like I mentioned before, they also teaches to our students a lot soft skills, and they get experiences from there what they cannot get anywhere else, as Matthias mentioned in his reflection. But as I mentioned, of course, funding systems need to be available to implement these kind of mobilities. But personally, I don't see any barriers between human beings between those countries or between our countries. Thank you for a good question.
Okay. And here is a question from SeAMK. So could you tell about your own experiences of your own mobility periods? What you have learned as a teacher?
Thank you, Riikka, for a good question. And this is very, how to say, wide question, because I have learned a lot. But what I think that I have learned as a teacher, especially, so I think that I have learned to meet people from different cultures. I think that I'm also more open-minded. And I think that, for example, resilience is one of the things which has been growing inside of me during my mobility periods. But I know that each mobility period, it doesn't matter, is it in Europe or in Africa, for example, so all the mobilities are valuable. And I think that I have learned especially about the people when I have been done my mobilities. But of course, it's very valuable for teachers also to learn activities, differences between our institutions when we are visiting. So we are quite often comparing our strategies and different kind of activities. So that's also from the teacher's perspective, very good, or yeah, very good, nice, very good thing to learn.
Okay, so we have one question on site.
Okay. I study in the international nursing program here at SeAMK. Finnish student myself, but in a multicultural class. As a teacher, do you see there would be any possibility of improving the international students' integration through clinical trainings in the hospital environment by engaging more with the hospital staff who actually are responsible in providing the guidance during clinical trainings? Like you say that you have changed a lot during your experiences abroad. So just an idea that would there be in the future like a possibility for collaboration actually with the nursing staff in the hospitals to take them for an international exchange period, for example, in Africa, where we have lots of students here at SeAMK. So they would be able to have that kind of insight in that multiculturalism from the other side, instead of just being in the receiving end in a hospital training the international students, but seeing it firsthand for themselves and understanding the cultural diversity. So just this kind of idea that is there any kind of collaboration with the hospitals with SeAMK, you know?
Yes.
Anyways, I cannot form the question any better.
Thank you, Satu, for a very good question. When I was working in vocational school here in SeDu, at SeDu, here in Seinäjoki, so we had that kind of funding system that when we had a mobility as a teachers to go somewhere abroad, so we were also able to take our nursing staff from the hospital settings with us to get know the international insights abroad. So I don't know about the Erasmus Plus funding system right now here at SeAM. Does it allow our employees from hospitals to attend to this program? But it's very good suggestion, Satu, and I believe that it really would help them to and motivate them to face our international students also here in Finland. So, yes.
Okay, excellent questions. Do we have any more questions? Maybe not. So I want to thank you, Terhi Valtti, and thank you all about this fruitful discussion. And I really hope that our student exchanges will also increase in the future between the countries that are here today in our conference. Next, I give the floor to my dear colleague, Pauliina Ojalipasti, who will provide us with a summary of our discussions today.
Good day and afternoon, everyone. As we reach the conclusion of our 4th International Research Conference, it is time to take a moment to reflect on the key discussions and insights we have gained over the past 2 days. Throughout this event, we have explored our conference theme from different aspects. This theme has been present in each session, emphasizing how education, healthcare, and research can be strengthened through cross-border partnerships and technological advancements. One of the strongest messages from this conference has been the idea that international cooperation is no longer just an option. It is essential. We live in an interconnected world where healthcare challenges, educational advancements, and societal transformations do not exist in isolation. The ability to learn from each other, exchange expertise, and engage in collaborative projects is what enables us to create meaningful and lasting progress. The role of higher education institutions in international collaboration has been a key discussion point. Universities are not just places of learning, but global platforms that bring together individuals from different cultural, academic, and professional backgrounds. Our discussions over the past 2 days have highlighted how student mobility programs, joint research initiatives, and digital learning environments can help build stronger global connections. Furthermore, digitalization has opened up new possibilities for international partnerships. While face-to-face interactions remain valuable, technology allows us to overcome geographical barriers and work together in ways that were not possible before. Whether through online education, virtual research collaborations, or digital health, we have seen that technology is a tool that enables, not replaces, human connections. However, with these opportunities come responsibilities. As we embrace digital internationalization, we must ensure that inclusivity, ethical considerations, and accessibility remain at the center of our efforts. It is not enough to simply create global networks. We must also make sure that all voices are heard and that education and healthcare solutions are designed for diverse populations. At the beginning of today's conference, Dr. Abraham Simatupang from Universitas Kristen in Indonesia delivered an insightful presentation on health literacy for an aging world. His talk emphasized how international cooperation can bridge gaps in healthcare education, ensuring that medical professionals and caregivers around the world are better equipped to meet the needs of an aging population. One of the key takeaways from his presentation was the comparison of aging populations across different countries, highlighting how aging can be viewed either as a challenge or as an opportunity, depending on societal structures and policies. Key differences in aging populations worldwide were identified, including social welfare systems, the stage of demographic aging, cultural contexts, and geographical aspects that influence elderly care and quality of life. At the end, he introduced us the interesting model of higher education institutions' engagement in health literacy in aging society and how AI in health literacy can help to enhance patient care and reduce the care costs. Later, Professor Xinghao Wu from National University of Kaohsiung in Taiwan addressed the intersection of climate change and healthcare. His presentation made it clear that climate change is not just an environmental issue, it is a healthcare crisis as well. Countries face different climate-related challenges based on their geographical location, and Professor Wu highlighted Taiwan's proactive actions to prevent climate change and explained how different stages of development, social welfare structures, and cultural context influence each country's response to environmental issues. Climate change has far-reaching health consequences, and his presentation highlighted key health risks linked to environmental changes. Extreme heat has been shown to increase cardiovascular issues, while air pollution and wildfires contribute to respiratory diseases. He also discussed how vector-borne diseases are spreading due to shifting climate patterns and how floods lead to food and water insecurities, exacerbating global health inequalities. Beyond physical health concerns, he emphasized the growing prevalence of eco-anxiety and its effects on mental well-being. Rising temperatures, new disease patterns, and increasing health disparities mean that global action is required to mitigate these effects. His session served as an important reminder that sustainability must be a priority in both medical education and healthcare policy. One of the highlights of today was the presentation by Terhi Voltti, a senior lecturer and doctoral researcher at SeAMK. She delivered an inspiring presentation on the impacts of international mobility on student learning and professional growth. She highlighted how global experiences shape nursing students' competencies, broaden their perspectives, and enhance their ability to adapt to diverse healthcare environments. Her presentation showcased several student mobility programs, including the Erasmus+ exchanges in Brazil and Denmark, participation in the Health Africa Network in Uganda, and the blended intensive program in Portugal. Through first-hand student testimonies, she illustrated how these international opportunities contribute to personal and professional development, fostering resilience, cultural competence, and problem-solving skills. Additionally, Terhi discussed the benefits of internationalization at SeAMK and emphasized the institution's commitment to providing students with enriching global experiences. She outlined key advantages of international mobility, including the development of soft skills, enhanced adaptability, and a deeper understanding of different healthcare systems. These sessions, along with the engaging discussions that followed, have once again shown that collaboration and knowledge exchange are the driving forces of innovation. Whether it is through shared research, student exchange, or digital initiatives, we all have something valuable to contribute to the global academic and professional community. As we come to the end of today's discussions, I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude. First and foremost, a heartfelt thank you to our incredible speakers, whose expertise first and foremost, I want to thank you, our incredible speakers of today and yesterday as well. I also want to sincerely thank all our participants, whether you joined us in person or online, for your enthusiasm, engagement, and willingness to share your thoughts and experiences. Your contributions have made this event truly interactive, insightful, and collaborative. A special acknowledgement goes to our organizing teams from SeAMK and Piccolo University, whose hard work and dedication have made all of this possible. Your commitment to bringing together professionals, researchers, and students from different parts of the world has truly strengthened our sense of international community. Before we move forward in the program, I would like to remind everyone that we will once again have a group photo session at the end of the day. With that, I now pass the floor to our next speakers for the closing remarks, from Dr. Mario Jossi, Faculty Dean of SeAMK University of Applied Sciences, and Dr. Jean-Annette Ibo, Dean of the College of Nursing at Piccolo University. Please join me in welcoming them. Thank you.
May I ask that Piccolo University would take the floor now, because we have a little bit issues. Dean Mario Joshi to join Zoom. She's currently in Nepal, so connections ain't that good. So could you please start this?
Day, distinguished guests, team speakers, and participants. As we conclude this remarkable 4th International Research Conference, I stand before you filled with gratitude and inspiration. Over the past days, we have embarked on a journey of knowledge, exchanged under the theme, Building a Connecting Bridge through strengthening international cooperation through digitalization. Together, we have explored the profound significance of digitalization in strengthening international cooperation, uncovering both challenges and opportunities that will shape our future. Our discussions have been rich and diverse. We delved into how digital environment can motivate learning, transform educational paradigm. We examined the dual nature of digitalization, its barriers, and its immense potential to revolutionize practices. We tackle pressing global issues such as health literacy for an aging population, the impact of climate change on health system, and the importance of international student mobility in fostering global collaboration. Each session has underscored the urgency of leveraging digital tools to address these challenges while strengthening international partnerships. As we end this event, I would like to extend my heartfelt appreciation to President Baby Boy Benjamin Nebres, to President Yahako Halila, to Dean Mario Yossi, to our speakers who have shared their expertise. Their insights have ignited meaningful conversation and inspired innovative solutions. Their insightful contributions have enriched our discussion and provided invaluable perspectives, fostering a truly global dialogue. To the organizers, thank you for creating a platform that fosters collaboration across borders. I would like to thank the co-convenor, Dr. Alma Banwa, for the tireless efforts in organizing this event. Your dedication and leadership have been instrumental in bringing us together. To our collaborating university, SeAMK University of Applied Science in Finland, it has been an honor to be working with you, and we look forward to future collaboration and opportunities. To the College of Medicine, thank you for your support and partnership. Your involvement has been crucial in enhancing the scope and reach of this event. I am deeply grateful to the various committees who worked diligently behind the scene. Your meticulous planning and execution have ensured that every aspect of this event ran smoothly. To all participants who presented their researches, thank you for sharing your innovative ideas and findings. Your contribution have been the heart of this event, and we are grateful for the opportunity to learn from you. To all faculty members and students who have worked tirelessly to make this event a reality, your hard work and commitment are truly appreciated. Your efforts have not gone unnoticed, and we are grateful for your dedication. As we live today, let us carry forward the spirit of cooperation that this conference exemplified. Let us commit to nurturing this bridge through continued dialogue, shared research, and collective action. Reflect on what we have gained here and how we can continue to contribute, advancing these ideas within our community and internationally. Together, we can transform challenges into opportunities and build a future where science and technology unite in addressing global health priorities. Thank you very much, and Diyos ang mabalos.
Thank you for your kind words. Now may I introduce our Dean, Mario Yoshi. She should be online now. Hi, Mario.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, excellent. So thank you so much for having me at this conference giving you the closing remarks. And I would like to start by giving you very warm greetings from Kathmandu, Nepal. And I am here to promote education just like you have been doing in this seminar. And it's so important that we actually connect through online means and we are able to share these international experiences amongst each other. And I think especially in nursing education, it's so important to have the international connections so that we are able to even give better support to our patients, to our students who are doing the nursing education, to our teachers, and of course the future nurses who are working in this field. And I know that we have very close collaboration with BUCN University. I want to thank you all for, working with us and building even stronger relationships to work together and to have more opportunities for nurses all over the world. And we are especially grateful that you have been doing research and you have been sharing your results. And it's so important to actually share the experiences and the research results and communicate about those together, considering that if we only keep it to ourselves or if we only keep it in our own country, we can, yes, take the matters further, we can promote and we can develop things, but actually how we can really make it stronger is to work together internationally. And I really want to thank you for this opportunity to come together in this online seminar. As you know that this is my first time participating in this seminar. I started here as a dean last September, and I'm very excited to be participating and working with you in this field. And development of education in general is very dear to my heart. I'm specialized in pedagogy and especially online pedagogy. And my personal interest is especially online degrees, but also internationalization of online education. And I believe that this is one great means how we can use online education and online means to come together. It would be impossible for all of us to travel and meet each other in person. So that's why it's so important that we are actually able to connect during this online meeting and online seminar and have these very meaningful presentations, discussions, and sharing and collaborating in research and education. So here in Nepal, we are also working to promote education, and I'm sorry to say that my computer had some issues and I could not connect with my laptop, so I'm using my phone, and hopefully you are still able to hear me okay, despite some little bit of disturbance in the background. But I would like to thank you once again for doing this seminar. It's been wonderful, and I hope that there'll be many more seminars to come, and I look forward to seeing what kind of new collaboration and new kind of research results will come out of this. So thank you very much on my behalf and also on the behalf of SeAMK University of Applied Sciences and our entire nursing education. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mario Yoshi, and we are so delighted that you could make it online. But now it's the time to wrap up this great conference because everything ends. So, yeah. So I would like you to gather for a photo opportunity. So please, here online and on site, let's have a group photograph. And I really hope that next year we can continue this fruitful collaboration and even expand it more. I'd like to send my warmest thank you for all participants all over the world. Thank you so much.
International Research Conference brought to you by Bicol University College of Nursing comes to an end. And we thank everyone for the participation, for the support, and for everybody's presence. Thank you, and see you again next time.
Bicol University, or BU, the premier university in the Bicol region, Philippines, is a super